Here is U.S. President Donald Trump talking about ethnic cleansing in Gaza.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area.
Very quickly, Trump is being intentionally vague here when he says the people of the area. When Trump says that he wants to create an economic development plan that will supply unlimited jobs and housing for the people of the area, he's of course referring specifically to the Israelis. The Palestinians would not be in Gaza. Where would they be? According to Trump, they would be in the neighboring countries, specifically Jordan and Israel. Now, there's been some talk that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's response to this was one of both frustration and surprise because he felt like Trump went around him. In case there's any confusion as to what the response from the far right in Israel has been, an Al Jazeera article summarizes it as elation. If you go down the article, it says, quote, "For the extreme right and ultra-Orthodox factions of Israeli politics, the idea makes sense that the population of Gaza be displaced to make way for the U.S. to oversee some kind of reconstruction that they assume would ultimately be for the people of Israel." Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has also come out on X to express his full support for Trump's plan. Now, because Jordan is one place that Trump has said that he believes the Palestinians could go to as he carries out his ethnic cleansing, here's Jordan's King Abdullah, responding to that.
This Israeli government has killed more children, more journalists, more aid workers, and more medical personnel than any other war in recent memory. In the absence of global accountability, repeated horrors are normalized, taking our region to the brink of an all-out war. That includes those who continue to propagate the idea of Jordan as an alternative homeland. So let me be very, very clear. That will never happen. We will never accept the forced displacement of Palestinians, which is a war crime.
Now, the Jordanian king's response was very forceful, but Trump has said that he may withhold aid to Jordan and Egypt if they don't take in the Palestinians. Now, specifically, how much aid did the U.S. provide to Jordan? We're going to look at the numbers from 2023 specifically because the numbers from 2024 are partial. But in 2023, the United States provided Jordan with about $1.6 billion in aid. They were the second largest recipient of U.S. aid in the region, being after, of course, Israel. There has been some, specifically an individual named Scott Ritter. Scott Ritter is an American former United States Marine Corps intelligence officer, former United Nations Special Commission weapons inspector. He's an author and commentator, and he was a junior military analyst during Operation Desert Storm. Scott has a different idea, so I'll just let him explain it.
What he's doing is creating chaos and anarchy and being disruptive to a system that hasn't been working. And this is the one thing I have to say about a method to his madness. Let's pull off the stupidity of what Trump says, and let's just acknowledge prior to that press conference, there wasn't a single viable plan on the table being floated anywhere about how to solve the problem in Gaza. Not a single realistic plan being floated by anybody. Nobody was talking about anything. And so now if you're Donald Trump and you're the president of the United States and you say my mission is to bring peace, he could do it the old-fashioned way, which is shuttle diplomacy, have a Secretary of State run around, fly around, meetings, and nothing will happen because Israel will never let anything happen. The one encouraging thing on this is, I believe, is the absolute punch in the face to Benjamin Netanyahu. And I think Larry is 100% correct. This is Trump putting a marker on the table saying, you're done in Gaza. And Netanyahu can't act because Trump has now articulated something. If Netanyahu undercuts him, so Trump has checkmated Israel. And now he's disrupting the entire world saying, if you don't like it, come up with a better idea. And now the world is scrambling right now to come up with a better idea. And again, I'm sickened by everything you said, but that's a hell of a lot better situation than existed during the Biden administration where nobody was doing anything except sitting back and letting the United States, prevent the world from helping.
So I think Scott Ritter is trying to see this in the best possible light, and he has two ideas. I'll break them both down. The first is that President Donald Trump's plan is so intentionally ridiculous that its purpose is to provoke some sort of counter offer from regional countries, specifically Saudi Arabia, Iran, Egypt, and Jordan, into proposing their own solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The second is that it has somehow upset, boxed in, and restricted Benjamin Netanyahu from acting freely. I disagree with both of these, and I'll explain why. The first is that, from Scott's perspective, he's saying that Trump's approach is ultimately action is better than inaction. And either you can have the genocide continue, you can have the occupation continue potentially indefinitely, or you can have the United States take over the Gaza Strip. That's not true. There's already been a proposed solution. That proposed solution has existed for decades, and that is a two-state solution. That solution has been blocked by Israel because they continue to occupy Palestinian territory. They continue to seize Palestinian territory illegally. They continue to build settlements on Palestinian territory. They continue to violate Palestinian human rights every single day. And they have been funded into doing that by the United States. So it doesn't make any sense to take the approach that Trump's plan is ultimately to propose a solution because there's been an absence of a solution, and ultimately the ownership is now on the regional countries. That's not true. The neighboring countries have always supported an existing solution that has always been blocked by Israel and the United States. So as the United States, your response cannot be, hey, this solution that the entire world, the international community supports, the solution that we have blocked, it's now your job to find a new solution to it because we proposed a ridiculous idea. So I don't think that's what Trump is doing. I mean, perhaps, but I disagree with Scott entirely there. The second is that this has somehow boxed in and upset Benjamin Netanyahu and prevented him from acting. Now, I don't know exactly what Scott means when it says that it's boxed him in specifically. I would imagine that it's restricted freedom of action from Benjamin Netanyahu. I don't think Benjamin Netanyahu is upset by this at all. Again, we can go back to the Al Jazeera article that Israel's extreme right is actually largely happy with this development. If the United States cleans out Gaza and then builds an economic plan that provides unlimited jobs for the people of the area, like Trump said, well, again, that directly benefits Israel. Why would Benjamin Netanyahu have any trouble with that? Why would Benjamin Netanyahu have an issue with the United States saying, now that you've destroyed Gaza, we're going to do the cleanup for you. We're going to build the Gaza Strip for you? Because Benjamin Netanyahu is fully aware, and the Israeli far right is fully aware, that if Trump's plan, Trump does follow through with his plan, not only will it benefit the people of Israel, not the people of Palestine, not only will it essentially complete the Israeli plan of ethnic cleansing in Gaza, and it will be the United States that did it, not Israel, but that a future administration would inevitably gift that land to the Israelis, that a future U.S. administration would definitely provide the Israelis with what would then be U.S. territory that they illegally seized from Palestine, because the entire state of Israel, that's how it started. The entire state of Israel was given to the Israelis by a foreign power, originally England. So the idea that Benjamin Netanyahu, or any Israeli for that matter, would be upset or embarrassed by this, I think is a ridiculous notion.